What is going on, guys? BCD here, and today I just wanted to bring you a quick video just discussing basically my thoughts and opinion on E3 for Microsoft, and my thoughts on the Xbox One X, the price, things along that nature, what you're getting for your the dollar amount or for what you're getting, and the games, of course. So, without further ado, let's just get right into that. So starting off, I want to talk about basically the biggest selling point of the system, the 4K support. This is something where I just want to talk about strictly features right now. So features that come with the Xbox One X. I'm not going to talk about the damn specs because they didn't kill me with that. I know everybody knows what the specs are by now. I just want to talk about stuff that they haven't announced and things like that. Like one of the big things that I saw that was very impressive to me was the 4K capture support. So basically, I've been looking for ways to actually capture 4K footage of gameplay, and now they're going to actually have that implemented into the console without me having to go buy anything extra. I'm fucking ecstatic. And that's one of those things because I was looking online. I was trying to find one for cheaper. Goddamn, I think the cheapest one I ever found was like $400 for just a capture card. So if they can do that right and give me enough time limit to show off some gameplay that I would like to capture, it's fucking awesome. That's something that I feel like is very under the rug. Ain't nobody really talking about it. I feel like that's a really good thing. Of course, the native 4K is another feature that I enjoy. It's just that with how blurred it is and everything like that, how I seen Horizon look with the checkerboarding technique, it doesn't really matter, but it does. I'm glad that they are able to accomplish something that they set out to do. I'm glad they're able to help the developers and to actually get that type of get that out of the console. 4K native support 60 frames per second. I'm more annoyed about new information about Destiny 2 coming out and it's just being 30 frames like everything else. I would rather have a push in frames rather than actual, 4K output. So that's one of my gripes. I just feel like they should have been more heavy on I'm not sure if it's the CPU side. Yeah, CPU side rather than actually trying to push screen resolution. I mean, I get it. It's not meant to be overhaul in the system itself. It's just meant to be a boost in assets and visuals, but I still feel like they could have did it a different way. We still have yet to even see. Maybe they could have got it. Maybe Destiny is just trying to be petty, but who knows? Right now, I know Forza runs at 60 frames per second, which looks awesome, by the way, but that's like literally the only game that they had to showcase, really. So, which leads me directly into my next point, games. So I don't know. I just didn't see any that were very they really pushed the system. I mean, they had a bunch of third parties on screen. They had Anthem, Assassin's Creed Origin. Both of those games looked they looked really good. Forza, of course, but I would wanted to see at least one more first party exclusive. Not saying that was going to sell me on the system because obviously I'm still going to buy it. If you check out my old top 5 reasons why I pre-ordered before it even launched, it still goes onto the lines that I support Microsoft because of what they do for the consumer. Yeah, so obviously I'm still going to buy the console and everything like that. I just wanted to give it another push or edge over the competition. Not saying that they were ever going to beat Sony with exclusives with just one exclusive, but they could at least have something to really showcase it other than Racer, because they needed one AAA, which could have been Scalebound if they didn't cancel it. So I was just looking for the next big thing because they said they canceled it for a reason. I'm not seeing that reason just yet. I do feel like you're getting your bang for your buck for the package alone, but I really would like to see just to help sell this console because at the price point, it's going to be a hard sell, which leads me straight into my next topic. It's $499 US. That is a lot of money for a console mid-gen upgrade. It's like buying another console. So, it's like buying a brand new console with probably better specs. So when you do the jumps from system to system, you want to see some really effective changes. So it's so hard to sell 4K because you have to see it, and at the same time you can still have the same good experience on those other consoles. So the Xbox One S still will be underpowered than the PS4. The Xbox One X will be more powerful than the PS4 Pro. How do you sell that? How do you get that people to go out and buy one? How do you get these 4K mid-gen consoles to actually sell? Honestly, with games, it's hard to not do it without games. So $4.99, everybody's still like, wow, that's I feel like it's an okay price. I feel like that's a price that is worth the money for what you're getting with the box alone. I feel like I don't know how they did all that, jam-packed all that stuff into that small little thing, but they definitely did a good job in that regard. So I can't knock them for that, but you need something that makes people feel like this is the reason to jump. This is the reason to change. And it didn't show that. Anthem looked it very good. I mean, these games looked it good, but you're still going to be able to play them on your Xbox One S and your PS4. And I feel like people don't really get what they're trying to do or what they're trying to push. 4K is a great trigger word, but is it really something that people care about? I feel like they should have came out with a first party that was really eye popping or something of that nature. It's hard to sell 4K. The PS4 Pro is barely selling. People barely know about it. The Xbox One X had a bigger stage, had a bigger presentation, and I feel like people still aren't going to be sold on this. This is going to be something that's going to be a hard sell. I did hear that they were going to switch some things up and some surprises for the pre-order. So it may come with some additional things. It may come with some games or something like that, just so that they can market it a little bit better. It could be packaged with more Forza, but I doubt it packages it. But things like that, now they have to look at the marketing side. And I feel like they got a good marketing campaign, even though they did when they changed, they had a good marketing campaign, but I don't see a lot of people buying this. I see myself buying it. I don't see a lot of people buying it because they don't have a reason. Like, when you make a jump and it's a $500 console, you want to see real improvements. You want to see, like, this car looks much better from this car. Like, when you went to the PS2 to the PS3, it was a big ass difference. If you go from the PS4 to the PS4 Pro, if you go from the Xbox One S to the Xbox One X, it's not that big of a fucking difference. So to sell someone, you need a game that makes it like, wow, okay, this is it. But everybody wants to keep their old consoles still on the same page, which makes it even harder to sell. And then if you don't have a game to actually show, you shoot yourself in the foot, to be honest. It makes it very difficult to sell this console. Now, for the briefing, before the games that they did show, this was a okay presentation for Xbox alone. Not because if you take away the Xbox One X and you just do a conference for Microsoft, it's on par with what they did before. They just don't have their huge IPs because obviously they're still working on them, and they don't like to do stuff to a year or two ahead of time. So they like to do it when it's coming out, which is, I mean, it works, but at the same time, it would have been a great way to showcase what the Xbox One X could do and what the developers are actually pushing out of it. But they decided not to do so. So they showed off games like, I know one that really was like a dull of the moment. It was like Super Tail something. I was like, Lucky Super Tail. I was like, what is this garbage? And then it was just a bunch of weird looking games that, I mean, I understand the push for indies, and I understand there was some games that really looked good, like Ori. I know I seen Shift. I seen, obviously, when they announced Cuphead, everybody went crazy. It was just a lot of stuff that, it was so many games, but when you really go back and look at it, there's a few, like 2010, 15, which is overall a great showing. It's just that coupled with the Xbox One X and everybody looking for that huge new game and that great bump in graphics, you can't showcase it unless you have a first party that knows how to pull it out. Well, Forza was good. Forza, I can't even hold you up. It looked great, but it's a racer, and everybody isn't into racers. So you needed something that's open world, going to give you those great draw distance, great color, and great HDR. You can't just have it showcased through indies, because then nobody's going to want to pick it up. And then you have Metro, and then it wasn't even running on the Scorpio. If everybody thought that was, it wasn't. It was like it was something. I forget what they said. It was like in engine, but it wasn't on that system. So things like that looked like a huge jump. That looked like next level, generation. So if that would have actually been running on the Scorpio, that could have sold it. And if it was coming out soon, that would have been a seller. But they need something like that with Microsoft Studios on the front of it. It's just hard to sell it. I don't know why I just went back to talking about the games, but yeah, I'm just going on a rant. But the briefing was a solid briefing. I feel like they really had executed well. They didn't just, do things to do stuff. They were very particular on how they announced stuff. I don't know why they brought the car out again. This is something that is a staple in their showing now. Is just they announce a car too. It's a car show now. So I mean, I get that Microsoft. The reason why they get a pass from me is just because of what they are able to do, like the OG Xbox coming back. I mean, like, who really else gonna spend that money on that? Nobody. I don't think nobody other company will care enough to have somebody in-house upgrading games to work from their previous. Ain't nobody gonna do that other than Microsoft. They're gonna charge you, and Microsoft is like, I'm gonna do it, and we're gonna not charge you. And I appreciate some of that stuff like that. They just announced that Mixer, things like that. It's just Mixer isn't like, they bought it, of course, because they can buy anything they fucking want, really. But they bought that too, and it's like integrating that into it as well with 4K streaming. Like, they're really trying to push the bar. They're trying to push it to make it work. Make anything that you do on the Xbox worthwhile. And at the end of the day, the shit gonna come and it's gonna turn around and just be, next time you know it, you're gonna be buying a PC. It's just that simple. Xbox is aligning itself with PCs. It just doesn't make sense that they have so many Xbox Windows 10 exclusives. It doesn't make sense unless they really don't care about the console generation moving forward. They know it's getting a little bit dated to buy consoles, but I don't see how they're going to continue to compete, because obviously it's not too bad, because 50 million people already bought a PS4. So it's kind of like, do you want to still be in the console war, or do you want to get out? Because it's what you're doing now is so heavy consumer friendly, because I enjoy having the option to play it on anything I want. PlayStation makes you play it on their system. They do things like exclusive content just like Microsoft does, but they do it on a higher degree to make you feel like this is where you want to play it. It's not consumer friendly, but it works to sell the console. I don't know if Xbox is just, it's just they doing like a whole 180. It used to be so Call of Duty, so exclusive content. They used to have the Rise of Tomb. They did announce some new stuff here, but it's getting very smaller and smaller as it goes on. And like PlayStation is pumping it up, and they're getting not only full exclusives, but even timed exclusives. So yeah, it's just getting a little bit questionable about how much longer Xbox may have in the console generation. But as long as they align themselves with the community and keep feeding their community, it's going to thrive. I mean, it might not sell as good as PlayStation, but it's still going to thrive. But yeah, I'm still going to pick up one. I still like the briefing. It wasn't a terrible briefing. I still don't feel like Sony did much better. If anything, Nintendo won. But yeah, I don't know. Tell me what you guys think in the comment section below. I've been talking for quite a while now, but yeah, just let me know what you think. Thank you guys for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe if you like this commentary. And as always, peace.